I just can't believe he's gone.
I know.
Garrett.
I know. Are you okay?
All week it's just been rough.
I know.
Okay.
You feel better?
We do.
All right. Should we back to our conversation?
Yep.
All right. My point of what I was saying was, okay, is that I think people are way too harsh on Ross, okay? Rachel is totally toxic, okay? She's terrible.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been as bad a character if he wasn't dating her. See what I'm saying?
Yes and no, because you see him date so many different other women throughout the series.
But she sabotages it.
Yes
See what I'm
and
saying?
no, because he's toxic in his own.
That's true.
He self-sabotages.
That's true.
She should have ended up with Joey.
Ugh, that's so...
Oh, you losers are still at it again.
We forgot to lock the door.
Oh my God!
I know.
What are you guys arguing about now? What's
not arguing,
what's
we're having
happening
a
now?
conversation.
What's going on with you two now? What?
Nothing.
What
It's
kind
fine.
of drama is going on?
There's no drama.
We're just having a conversation.
We're getting ready for the show. Can we do that, please?
Well, you guys are sitting here arguing like two little
We're
schoolgirls.
not
Oh
arguing
wait.
at all.
Oh wait.
What the?
Who are you, dude? What are you doing? That's my stuff. What are you doing?
Your stuff?
Yeah.
This belongs to me now.
No. Those are my trophies, dude. Who are you?
Sorry, who haven't been properly introduced. I'm Mike Coffin,
All right.
Vice President of Ataxia.
And why are you taking my stuff? This is my stuff.
That's mine now.
Yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, answer me something. Now, you said you own this building.
I do.
You own this network.
I do.
You own the contracts.
I certainly do.
Where do you get off telling people that you own my prospect? Mine!
Who are you? I don't even know.
I'm going to
who
be
you
your worst nightmare in a second if you don't shut up and listen. Do you understand me? These, mine. Him, mine. There ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Dude, put that back. Put this stuff back. It's mine.
You know what? I tell you what,
No,
sir.
put that-
No.
put that down.
Go put this in the truck. I hear anything from him about you treating him like garbage, I will come back. And it's going to make the Saw movies look like Sesame Street. The shit I do to you is going to be classified as a fucking war crime. I've been letting you run your little business here, no problem. I haven't bothered you. But you know what? This neighborhood's getting dangerous. So I think you need protection. And you're about 3 months due at $1,500 a month. So I tell you what, until you pay that up, I'm going to hold on to this. And you will pay up.
Wait a minute. Wait.
How we doing today, folks?
What
It's
is up,
Joseph
everyone?
Stones, the most handsome co-host in the business, Garrett Plunkett. How we doing today, buddy?
We're doing all right. Before we get going with today's show, we couple condolences we want to throw out to just out in the open there. Both. It's weird that we have two shows. We have Movie Madness and Wrestle Fandom Radio, and that this week both industries lost titans, really.
Yes.
William Hurt, who has been described as an actor's actor, normally plays an intellectual. He was on. I mean, you just look at everything. Go to IMDb and look at all the classics he was a part of, or helmed, or anything.
Most kids nowadays would know him as General Ross.
Yeah, General Ross.
The Hulk, the Avengers movies.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
He did Lost in Space, which I still maintain was an actual good movie for sci-fi
dude,
90s. I
liked
love that movie.
I always liked that.
But he was in so much stuff, and he passed from metastasized prostate cancer, which I didn't even know he had. So that sucks. as far as that goes. So condolences to his family and all of his friends. But then also, if you have Facebook, if you are on the news, if you're on anything, you've seen that Scott Hall passed away after suffering 3 heart attacks from a blood clot from
The
complication
fall
from a surgery. Yeah.
We reported he had fallen a couple weeks ago and he had broke his hip and he was supposed to get surgery to repair it. Apparently, during that surgery, a blood clot had become loose and it went to his heart. Friday and Saturday, he suffered 3 very bad heart attacks. They put him on life support. And then Monday, when his family was there, Kevin Nash posted that they had taken him off, and he kicked out till about 6 p.m. that night, and then he finally went to his final resting place. This for me, this hit hard.
Yeah, this is one of the harder hitting wrestlers.
When Macho passed, when Piper passed, Warrior, they were all the big guys, more so when I was little.
Right.
Scott Hall, founding member of the NWO, Razor Ramon. When I was a budding young preteen, and all that was going on, he helped redefine. When he
made
came out
being
to
bad cool.
Oh, he was the bad guy.
That was it. It's like heels were heels, and faces were faces, and you can say a lot of it started to break down when Austin, with the whole in-betweener type thing, but Scott Hall was the first person that made being bad cool.
Very, very simple. And when he came out to Nitro that first night by himself, and the whole Canadian tuxedo, the cut-off jean jacket, no shirt on, the jeans, and he goes, "You know who I am. You just don't know why I'm here." And that started off arguably one of the greatest times in wrestling.
It was the first shot in the Monday Night War, and it was great. But and we can go on and on, but that's for another show, and that's for another day.
And per wrestling tradition.
Oh yeah,
we're going to give Scott his 10 bell salute, so I will take off my hat. Rest in peace, buddy.
So, with that,
today is March 16th, better known as what, Garrett?
Well, it's 316 Day, man.
And who does that represent?
What?
Texas Rattlesnake ring a bell?
What?
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 What? I don't even know why I'm doing that because I hate the what chant. I do. Honestly.
Stomper, you're here.
Oh, Stomper's here? Oh, hey.
Oh, Stomper, how's it going?
All right.
Oh, well,
it's a perfect time to also
introduce our guest.
Our guest for today,
Casey's back! Stomper, there's Casey.
Dude, Casey's here. It's Casey.
I don't really care.
Oh, all right, just relax, all right? We just need you to sit there, do your job stuff for today. We'd appreciate it.
I mean, you don't even have to really have the headphones on.
Yeah, you're good.
Mark those.
All right, but Casey, welcome back, man.
Welcome back. Happy 316 Day, Casey.
Happy 316 Day.
And today's topic, in honor of tomorrow's impending St. Patty's Day, and today being 316 Day, it only made sense to us.
Drinking movies. All right, so basically it's either it has to do all with drinking or drinking was a major catalyst or some driving force in it, because believe it or not, this wasn't exactly the easy list to put. This is the only time we're ever going to be able to do one.
I feel like in my head I felt like there were so many more, and then when it came down to it, there really wasn't.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, I mean, are you guys ready? Are we ready to get into this?
Let's get it going.
I mean, all right. So
100%.
we're going to start off with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas up against Dazed and Confused.
Casey, since you're back and we missed you so much, why don't you lead us off?
Well, I will be honest. Both of these movies I didn't see until literally last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which makes sense too. Like both of them, I didn't see them when they came out.
I didn't see them. I didn't see them when they
late
came out.
teens, early 20s is
Yeah.
when I discovered them.
Yeah, and I haven't seen either in a long time. A lot of these movies I haven't seen in a long time either.
Yeah. Fear and Loathing, great movie. They're both awesome.
It's a trip.
Yeah,
It
it's a literal
great
trip.
movies.
yeah.
Fear and Loathing. I only watched it because one of my favorite artists, The Weeknd, was doing an album After Hours that was based off of very heavily inspired, I'd say. But I love both those movies. I think Dazed and Confused for me is just a more, I'd say, rewatchable movie.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I have more of an enjoyable time, whereas Fear and Loathing is almost a, you know,
gotta
obviously,
be-
like you said,
It's
a
an
trip.
experience.
You gotta be in the
I'll
mood
say
for
you
it.
got to be in a certain mindset.
You gotta be in a certain
mindset
frame of
to-
mind. Yeah.
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 Absolutely. So he's going Dazed.
So I have much love for both of these movies for two very, very different reasons. Like Fear and Loathing, I mean, you could be stone cold sober and still feel that you are on something.
Yeah, you're like,
And it really is a cinematic, like,
experience.
Yeah, like
It's an experience.
But with Dazed and Confused, and like Casey just said, it is way more rewatchable. Dazed and if you look at that cast alone, and the story that it tells, because like it doesn't matter what time frame that movie is in. We all had our version of that movie in high school, like, and especially like those later years of high school, like, oh, hanging out with the older kids. You know, you got that older kid that's graduated a couple years ago that's still hanging around because we think he's cool because he's older, but in reality, he's just a
He didn't
loser
go
hanging
anywhere,
on.
yeah. He's a townie. Yeah.
Right, and that movie applies to just about everybody in America's life, and it makes you laugh, and like it just. As much as I love Fear and Loathing, I would also have to go Dazed.
yeah, I'd be going Dazed as well. So that's easy. So, but now we come to one of the harder ones. Okay.
Oof.
We've got World's End against Shaun of the Dead. Both Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Edgar Wright.
So
They're both, you know,
they're both part of the trilogy.
mainly, but these two are more about like the drinking is the drive. It's like in World's End,
Drinking is the driving force.
It's you know, it's aliens, but they're trying to do a pub crawl, you know, and they're making their way through. But in Shaun of the Dead, like they don't know where to go during the zombie apocalypse, so they just decide to go to the pub.
Well, and if you think about
like-
it too, because they got smashed the night before, when Sean's doing his morning walk and everything is hit the fan,
not even
he doesn't even realize it
Not
because he's
even
so hungover. Yeah. I love both. I love all three of the movies in the trilogy.
yeah.
And for me though, I would have to go Shaun of the Dead. I have a little bit more love. I've seen that one the most. Oh, I've seen Hot Fuzz quite a few times, but not as much as Shaun of the Dead. World's End I've seen plenty of times, but there's something about Shaun of the Dead. Maybe it's the first time that we've really were introduced to Simon
Anything like
Pegg,
that.
like and Nick Frost, and it just. I remember sitting with my buddies like, yo, I heard about this movie, like going to Walmart, getting the DVD, watching it, and just being like, wow, like this is amazing. Like, who would have thought to have a comedy set in a zombie apocalypse, still having the serious notes and everything to it, but the whole plot itself, because they're not really traveling all that far, but in reality, like if a zombie apocalypse happened right now, I live a 5-minute drive away. It'd probably take us a day to get there if there was a real zombie apocalypse going on.
Yeah.
And it just, it's Shaun of the Dead for me. It has to be.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, we have to consider that this is on a drinking movies list too.
Yes.
You know,
I feel like I should have a beer right now and not a bunch of coffee. Stopper, did you bring beer?
Why should I?
Because you're
it's
the intern.
You're the intern, and it's 316 day.
Don't really care, Garrett.
Dude,
Wow.
you're gonna lose your job as the intern.
That's going down on your employee evaluation.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
just so you know, Casey got glowing evaluations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't really care. Of course he does, because he's your favorite out of the two of us.
Well, with an attitude like that, obviously, yes, he is.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right.
Garrett.
Do you have a pick?
I do have a pick.
Of course he does.
Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors in my
Right.
in my top 3. I've seen both of these movies. I'd say 20 times minimum, and that's just this year. But
It's March.
It's March.
but I'll be honest here. Shaun of the Dead is in my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie to death.
So you're voting for World's End?
No, I know. Shocking, I know. Shaun of the Dead, I've gotten drunk watching multiple times.
I think we've all.
So I would give it that. Honestly, I know World's End is more of a drinking focused movie, but ultimately they're both headed to bars in these films, and I think Shaun of the Dead is my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. All right.
Now,
Good.
before we
Miss
move on
Shaun of the Dead.
to the next break, I have a question for you, Casey.
Yeah.
How is the Brazilian pole fighting going?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I've been doing it for a little bit now. It's gotten a little difficult. I got injured a couple weeks ago doing it.
What happened?
Did you pull a hammy?
I did. It's yeah.
That's the worst.
I was.
Well, at
very
least you
upset
didn't get a
about it.
pole where pole doesn't shine.
Yeah.
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 No. Yeah. I had to take a break from it, so that's why I'm back in town right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you feel better. And
Thank you.
Anytime.
But we're
you
still
wanna come
happy to have
back,
you.
you know.
Yeah.
Obviously. So, all right, now we're gonna move down, and we got 2 pretty similar movies here, in 21 and Over and Project X. Okay. Now, personally, I think that I would put 21 and Over a little over, pretty much because, and I was blank out on his name, Miles.
Yeah, Teller.
Miles Teller. Thank you. Miles's sarcastic attitude in the movie is like a huge driving force and a huge crutch in that movie, but it's really good and really funny. And the friendship between those 3 guys, I think, outweighs, the same style of things that are in Project X. I would put 21 and over Project X.
Just to disagree with you, because I know neither one of these movies, regardless who wins it, are going past the next round. I'm just gonna go Project X.
Okay.
So it comes on to you, Casey.
Ooh, well, I'm sorry, Garrett. Project X, I love what they did with that movie.
Yeah,
I
that's
love.
fine, yeah.
I love the idea of doing a found footage film as like at that time it was mainly horror movies that were doing that. And I love the fact that they did a comedy set during like a high school party. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It was almost like a found footage of an American Pie movie, almost.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I get your guys' point.
That looks like an X.
All right, then we're gonna move it down to Coyote Ugly versus Swingers.
This is hard for me because with Coyote Ugly, you have a song that led the album, Leon Rimes' absolute banger. And I'm going to say banger because it's a banger. I don't care what anybody says. And you have a bunch of beautiful women dancing on a bar. You got Tyra Banks. You got a very young Piper Perabo. And then you have a subplot with the first appearance of the Punisher. Like, so you have a Spider-Man comic in this movie, and it's just like, it's great. It's a fun popcorn movie. But then you have Swingers. Jon Favreau. Oh,
You can never go wrong with Jon Favreau.
like, it's Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn's, like, big debut to the world. And it is the most Vince Vaughn movie. And
It established that Vince Vaughn is just going to be Vince Vaughn
and
forever.
it established them. And Favreau, and he is one of my favorite writers, directors.
I love Jon Favreau.
Everything, because the man can do everything, from guest appearances on Friends, like we were talking about earlier, to writing, to directing. He's the goddamn reason we have the MCU right now.
Yeah.
If it was up to the studio, guess what? We all would have watched Tom Cruise died 2 years ago instead of RDJ.
Yeah.
And he does everything. He did that chef movie where he did the food truck. But then on Netflix, he's doing almost like a reality show of him learning to cook with real famous, and it's entertaining as all shit.
Yeah.
And like just the different things in this movie, like him like meeting that girl, to them playing NHL. Like it reminds me of like me in my 20s. Obviously, I wasn't like where they were. We were playing Xbox, playing Madden, but like that's like what you did. And again, I sung the praise of Coyote Ugly, but I'm going Swingers all day.
I've never seen either of these movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised you've never seen Coyote Ugly.
I'll have to check them out. That's for sure. But I'll tell you what, I love Jon Favreau, so I'd probably go Swingers just
It
off
would have been.
that.
I would have gone with Swingers as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, just basically, there's really nothing.
Like your
more
homework
that
is
Joe-
go home and watch Swingers, because I guarantee, like the writing, it's so good.
I've loved almost every Jon Favreau movie, so I feel like that would be
like the way the dialogue flows in it really reminds me of like early Kevin Smith movies.
Oh, okay.
It's very like it's the perfectly flowing dialogue.
All
like,
right. Huh.
All right, so now we're gonna take it over to the other side where like drinking is more in the slight background.
Okay.
More of like a catalyst than a driving force. We have Weekend at Bernie's versus Roadhouse. Two very different movies. One always set in a bar, another one set on like a weekend of drinking
At a resort,
at a nice private island, and all this crazy stuff.
So it would all like really depend on my mood, who I vote for. But the fact that it's 316 day, and I think at 316 day, it makes me want to be in a bar. It wants me to be drinking beer. So, and I know we've talked about Roadhouse in the past a million different times, but
it's Roadhouse.
it's
right?
like again, like that's all you have to say. It's Roadhouse.
But it's Roadhouse. Roadhouse.
But Weekend at Bernie's, let's give credit where credit's due.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the concept is funny as hell, and like just think about it. Like Garrett, and I know this is actually a dream I have, is you and I going on a trip and finding Z's corpse and then having to pretend he's alive so we can keep our jobs.
Right. I mean,
that would be awesome. Like,
we
I
know how to rig a pulley system.
You know, maybe we can do a movie.
We could.
Weekend at Anthony's.
Yeah.
I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Nobody steal that idea, please.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Stealing that.
then I'm going Roadhouse.
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 Yeah, it's Roadhouse. I mean, it's just if not alone, like it all takes place in bars. Almost the entire movie. It's so then again more with Catalyst drinking stuff here. We have the Boondock Saints versus Game Night. Now,
again, two very different movies. Game Night was one of those movies that I was like, oh, this is going to be that typical like comedy movie. They got two kind of big names, and Game Night is really, really, really good.
Yeah, but then you
Boondock
have
Saints.
but then you have it up against Boondock Saints, to where again the catalyst of the fact that they're a bunch of Irish guys smashing a bar when the Russian mafia comes in, like that's what sets off the entire stuff, because like you can't mess with a bunch of drunk like literally Irish guys in a bar, you just can't like that. That's what happens, and those events set off everything that happened in the next two movies.
Like,
so
out of all the movies I've seen in my life, I can't really think of too many more that go from 0 to 60 the way Boondock Saints does.
Yeah, especially the genius way of showing you the next day and the aftermath, and then having to go back and retrace how the action happened.
And using the device of William Dafoe.
Oh my God, how good is that character?
But like the way you see what happens is William Dafoe putting it together. Like that was a brilliant device that they used.
Yeah.
You gotta go Boondock, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Game Night's great, but there's different levels to great, and Boondock is.
I know that it's Smile.
Yeah.
Casey. You've seen Boondock Saints, right?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
I was like,
I have a
wait
feeling.
second.
I have a feeling Casey's got a game night poster on his wall.
No, I
school.
do enjoy both movies, but I love me some Norman Reedus. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So good, Boondock. So then now we're gonna take it down to Wedding Crashers against Strange Brew. Now,
Both classics in their own right.
absolutely. It sounds weird, and I'm gonna even
Can you
just
do me
admit it on
a
the
favor,
show.
Stomper? Can you give me a water? I'm thirsty.
All right.
This is gonna sound weird for me to admit, on the show. I don't like Wedding Crashers as much as everyone else seems to.
what?
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Okay.
I want to hear elaborate. Please.
Everyone seems to think it's like the grit, and I just for some reason don't think it's as funny as everyone else thinks. It's happened to me before. I used to think Superbad wasn't that funny because everyone else saw it before me and told me it was the funniest movie ever. Now that I know more about it, and now that more than a decade went by, and then I watched it again, I do find it utterly hilarious. But I just, I've seen, Wedding time has happened. I've seen Wedding Crashers again. I still don't think it's as funny as everyone else seems to think it is. I am in no way saying it's bad. I'm just saying
It
it's
sounded
not one of
to
my
me
favorites.
like he was saying it's bad.
No, so that's how you're taking it.
I think Wedding Crashers is a classic. I watch that movie once a year at least.
I love Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
I find it. Now, the thing too, like Strange Brew is a classic. It
Right.
is it. There's never been anything like it before, and there's never been anything after. But Wedding Crashers has boobs in it.
And it's getting a sequel soon.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I think it sounds like it's going Wedding Crashers over
yeah,
Strange Brew,
yeah.
right? All right,
Yeah.
Stomper, hurry up!
Where is Stomper?
You know where the water is.
The water's
buddy.
not very far. What? Crap.
I saw he left.
He didn't leave.
Thanks, Coffin.
Oh boy.
Casey, just give me your seat.
All right.
Gentlemen, how are we?
Hey, Coffin.
Hi, Coffin.
Every time I think I have an understanding with you and we gonna be friends and get along, you go and screw it up.
And how have we screwed it up now?
You're treating my prospect like dirt.
We are employing our intern.
Mm-hmm. Don't you have human resources around here?
Hi, my name's Joe.
Hey, that's the problem. That's why I'm here.
Okay, so you.
So, whoa, hang on. Shut up.
Okay.
He answers to me, not a couple of buttersoft bitches like you.
Okay.
Now then, if you want to boss him around, that's fine. Come talk to me about it. I'll give you permission, but that hasn't been done. So from here until you formally make an appointment and come talk to me like gentlemen,
Okay.
treat him good. That's all I ask. Is that fair?
Fair.
Sure.
I used to like you.
I used to like you too.
You still love me, and I know you do. Stop DMing me.
What I do outside the studio stays outside the studio. Ooh.
All right, well,
Now, Garrett, Joe, gentlemen, Stomper, would you come in here, please? Would you be so kind as to make my, I don't know, what I think, how this is going to proceed, make me feel good about it. Would you offer him a nice, sincere apology?
Stomper, we're sorry for being mean to you, and we'll attempt to refrain from it until we talk to Coffin about being able to abuse you in the future.
Thank you.
sorry we bossed you around, buddy.
Thank you.
Now, like I made clear to another pissant that was running around here,
Piss Anthony.
my prospect. Your intern, hey, that's fine. My prospect. So if you want to talk to him the way I do, come talk to me. And you know what? I'll even wait until after the show for you.
Now, when we talk to you, do we talk to you the way you talk to him, or do we talk to you the way you talk to us? Or like
You talk to me like you want something, and you need to beg me to get it.
Okay. All right, I'll Google how to do that quick.
Buttersoft bitch. Gentlemen.
Thanks.
Have a nice day.
Thanks, Coffin.
Bye, Coffin. Welcome back, Casey.
Hey, Casey. You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Did he hurt you?
I don't know who that guy is.
That's Coffin.
That's Coffin. Just stay out of his way.
All right.
Trust me. If you would be so kind, Stomper, as to just write Crashers, they're moving on. And then we're going to go, as we've also mentioned, now we're going to go Superbad versus
Your favorite movie?
Role Models.
Role Models, 100%.
Now so the point of Superbad is to attempt to get liquor, to get wasted, to get the girl all night, and then Role Models is the catalyst where getting smashed causes that. So more of Superbad is about drinking or about the act of trying to drink, as to where Role Models just has the catalyst, let alone the hilarious catalyst that has issues all the way through it.
Both
Where
movies
do you
have
stand at?
both movies have McLovin.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
They
I didn't
do.
even think of that.
Yeah.
So Role Models for me, I feel like is such an underrated movie.
I agree.
Like Paul Rudd, Sean William Scott, they have such a good chemistry. And where this movie goes, like taking the kiss obsession and then to LARPing, and the fact that his job is to push energy drinks that are no way good for you to schools, and then you have Sean William Scott dressing up as this bull mask. The whole movie is ridiculous, and because they get arrested, their community service is to be a big brother type thing. These two men in this movie should not be any kind of role model
Absolutely
for
not should be
anyone,
role model.
and they actually turn out being the best role model for these two kids.
Right.
And one is a little badass. The other one probably will never lose his virginity.
Right.
And they even do a cover of Beth in it. It's I don't know. For me, with you, I like Superbad. I always thought Superbad had too much hype behind it. It's good. It's a great movie, but I feel like Role Models for me is the better film.
Listen, I love Michael Cera. I love Seth Rogen. I love Bill Hader, and I love Jonah Hill. Role Models. It's as simple as that. I love that movie. I've watched it.
Role Models over
times.
Superbad, even though you love all the guys.
I love all those guys in Superbad. I love the writing in Superbad. I think Role Models, if it wasn't for how underrated it is, if it wasn't for the amazing on-screen chemistry with Sean William Scott and Paul Rudd, I feel like it wouldn't be as good.
I feel
It's
like the only
incredible.
reason it's underrated is because it came out at a time when that group of people was just the movies were flying out,
Right.
and it just didn't. It didn't resonate with.
What
certain
was the
people
movie
as
with
well.
Paul Rudd and Jason Segel?
I Love You, Man.
Yes,
Yeah.
These came out about the same time, and I feel like I Love You, Man overshadowed Role Models.
Right, but it's nowhere near as good.
No,
There are funny parts to it.
Slapping the bass.
But Role Models is way funnier.
there was not a lot of movies coming out at the time where Paul Rudd was playing a more cynical, mean character.
Yeah, he was usually the more down to earth, nice.
Yeah, exactly.
He was the nice guy.
It was a complete 180 from his character in I Love You, Man. So I mean,
Right.
plus I feel like a lot of people still looked at Sean William Scott like, oh, it's Stifler.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Which is crap because he's a really good
he's
actor.
a great actor. I really enjoy his whole brand of comedy. So I mean, But I love that movie.
Apparently,
Role
yeah,
Models.
but we're going. I actually would have gone Superbad just because it's a drinking movie list.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? But just in that aspect, if we were to talk about other ones, I'd be going on longer. But now we're gonna take it up into round 2 already.
Animal House.
And we got Animal House over
that's Animal
Fear
House.
and Loathing, so I think everyone knows that it's going to be Animal House,
Animal
right?
House.
I mean, are we really even gonna do this? But then we've got Shaun of the Dead versus Office Christmas Party.
Shaun of the Dead.
It's still
Shaun
Shaun
of the
of the
Dead,
Dead.
yeah.
I mean,
Office Christmas Party is
It's outlandish.
great.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely insane. I would work in an office like that. I love it. I love it.
But is it better than Shaun of the Dead?
No,
No.
not many things are.
You know. So yeah. So we're gonna definitely stay Shaun of the Dead. The Hangover versus Project X.
Okay, now
I swear, if anyone picks Project X, I'm calling. He's calling Project X.
I appreciate your opinion, Stomper, but now we're gonna get on with the show. I remember when The Hangover came out. Now, if anybody recalls, I think Jason is it Jason Sudeikis in this one, or is the guy who looks like Jason Sudeikis?
No.
Who is it? What's his name?
This is
The guy who plays Stu?
Yes.
I can't remember right off the
Ed
bat.
Helms.
Yeah,
Ed
Ed Helms.
Helms. Yeah.
I always mix those two up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ed Helms was kind of big.
He was just started. This
Zach Galifianakis was nobody. Bradley Cooper wasn't really nobody. Bradley Cooper, up until this point, his biggest claim to fame was being the preppy rich guy on Wedding Crashers.
Right. It
This
launched
mo-
all three.
Yeah,
of them.
wow, yeah.
High.
Like this
Stardom. Yeah.
This movie literally came out. This was one of the last movies I remember hearing like word of mouth. Like, dude, you gotta go see The Hangover. Like, what's that about? And then going to see it and just being completely blown away by the complete absurdity of it. The fact that, like, yeah, I could see me and my friends going to Vegas, getting smashed, and losing the groom. Like, I could see that happen. And that just the craziness of the antics with Mike Tyson. Like,
The tiger. There's a tiger in the bathroom. There's a baby in the closet.
the whole entire...
Can't find the groom.
Like, and...
Stu's tooth is gone.
Right. And people forget that, like, this almost turns into, like, a detective movie because they have to retrace their steps and everything.
No, it is. Yeah.
And, like, relive, like, their adventure and everything. And the outtakes during the credits of the photos that were taken during that night are so funny. Like, this movie is one of those once... This movie can only happen once, and it was a perfect storm when it came out, and it's The Hangover.
Although,
100% for
you say it can only happen once, but do you remember Keanu Reeves in The Night Before?
Yeah.
Because that was The Hangover before The Hangover was The Hangover. Do you remember that movie?
Never saw it.
You have to go watch that movie.
I'll have to check it
Keanu
out.
Reeves and what's her
Seth
name? She was Becky on Full House.
Oh,
Gloria Longdon.
Lori Loughlin.
Yes.
Yeah, Lori Loughlin. It's the two of them. It came out. It's like the early '80s or late '90s.
oh wow.
Yeah, you have to go see it. It's not the new Night Before like that. You know, with which is a good movie. Where it was a while ago.
It came out in 1988.
88.
Wow.
So Casey wasn't even born.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was 3. Garrett was like 15.
I was 4, dick.
Oh. My bad.
Anyways, it's The Hangover.
Yeah, like,
It's still The Hangover over
100%.
Project X. The hands down. Right? Everyone's going.
I would say Hangover. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty epic. No one. I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Nobody was.
Nobody
You
was
know.
expecting that same director of The Hangover to end up making Joker either years later.
Right.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah,
that that's the
absolutely.
same director.
Yeah.
He
But then we've
reminds me of
got
Stu.
Hangover 2 versus Swingers.
So here, my issue with Hangover 2, like all 3 movies are good movies. Hangover 2 to me was pretty much just the first movie set in Bangkok with some of the jokes kind of switched out, which I expected. It like what they did with Hangover 3, I thought was brilliant. Like it was a different kind of movie. The stakes were a little bit higher. Whereas Hangover 2, I felt like I was just watching an adaptation of the first movie.
Yeah.
Where Swingers is a movie that holds a very special place for me. So my vote will be for Swingers.
I would go Hangover 2 here. Hangover 2 is actually my favorite out of the
But you haven't
trilogy.
even seen Swingers.
Yeah. I haven't seen Swingers. I'll have to check it out. But Hangover 2, I love just their whole storyline going on with Stu when he's like realizing that he's got a demon in him when he gets drunk. It's like I love that. I love that whole idea.
Why do you have a demon in you, Casey, when you get drunk?
Sometimes you got to let it out, and Stu lets it out in that movie, and I love it. I love every bit of that movie. The music choices are amazing too.
Didn't Stu let it out towards the end of Hangover, the first one? Like he just let it out when he got mad at everyone. He's like, what the? Like I'm missing a tooth.
The whole scene though, where he's in the streets during like I think it was like a police riot or something like that, and he's screaming, "F the police" or whatever. And it's so funny. I love that movie.
And it does have a monkey.
You know what? I get what you're saying about how some of it is a rehash, but so much more worse stuff happens to them in Bangkok because it's Bangkok.
Right.
That. As far as drinking movies go, it's got to be Hangover 2.
Okay.
Going in the moving past Swingers. I get what you're saying, and if you were to say what's a better film, and again, I keep on coming back to this narrative when I'm trying to.
Gary, you don't have to defend your opinion to me, buddy.
But drinking
I
movies,
appreciate your
it's
perspective.
Hangover 2. Okay. So now we're gonna take it over to Old School versus Roadhouse on a drinking movies board.
I'm going to say my answer with one simple line. You're my boy, Blue.
We're going striking! we're going striking in the quad!
Old School is one of those movies that came kind of out of nowhere. It's a perfect storm of a cast.
Smile, smile, look the baby, look the baby.
And I didn't realize until recently, too, it was like the film debut of the chick who now for the last 18 years has been the star of Grey's Anatomy. She's the love interest in Old School.
Yeah.
I never realized that until I watched Old School work.
Ellen Pompeo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Until I was watching
your mom, a polar bear follow me. Which is one of my favorite lines from Roadhouse, coincidentally there, Holly. It's,
I have to go Old School.
Yeah.
The movie is
this is a drinking movies board.
Earmuffs.
Yeah. It's a drinking movies board. It has to be Old School. Right? I mean, would you go?
I would agree with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, we're both. It was gonna have to move on because of that, anyways. But now we got Boondock Saints versus Euro Trip. Again, this is on a drinking board.
And again,
it's
I'm gonna
Euro Trip.
I'm going to give my answer with a line from the movie.
It has to be Euro Trip.
Scotty doesn't know.
Know. Here's a fun fact: you made out with your sister, man. Like, I mean,
hey, yo,
it's so. Euro Trip came out of nowhere.
That was one of the
like. I will when we do the comedy decade that is in. I will go deeper in on that movie. For the comedy's sake, but while it's on a drink, I mean, there's literally drinking all throughout this movie. The big whole thing, the
absinthe,
the absinthe later on in the movie, the
party in the beginning,
party in the beginning,
Matt Damon,
yeah, the movie came out of really came out of nowhere, and it's so good. It's Euro.
See, the thing with Euro Trip for me, I thought it was a sequel to Road Trip initially when I heard about it, and I was never a huge fan of Road Trip.
Yeah,
and then
I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was as funny.
Me and it was when Blockbuster was around. Me and Captain Samuels used to go to Blockbuster like every Friday. We'd rent something, and we grabbed it, and I just remember being like,
What?
Why haven't I seen this already?
How did this? Yeah.
And then I remember buying it and just having it on DVD for years.
I'm going to save my story about Eurotrip and where it stands for me as a movie when we have it on in the decade since.
Someone tells me Garrett had a pen pal at one point.
Yeah, I had a German pen pal.
I think so.
He probably still has it.
Yeah, we keep in touch. So it's Eurotrip.
Yes,
it's Eurotrip.
Eurotrip.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about it?
No.
I mean, or the two?
No,
or,
Eurotrip is. I watched it for the first time. A lot of years ago. It was on Comedy Central, real late at night during the summertime, and I was hanging out with my friends, and we just watched it, and it was a great time.
Yeah.
Before I was drinking, but you know what? Still a great time nonetheless.
It's so funny.
But then I'm getting a call from my pole dancing place.
Oh.
Let me go answer that real quick. I'll be right.
No, you're good. You take your time.
Big business.
So now we're gonna go down to Beer Fest versus Wedding Crashers. Now,
Hey, Joe, it's 316 day. I think maybe we should squash the beef after the show. What do you think? Come on.
I'll come talk to you. I'll come talk to you after the show.
It's
Okay.
316 day. Have a beer with me.
All right. I'll have a beer with you after the show.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you, Z.
You're welcome.
the interruptions.
Like all day. You're telling me Coffin's been here and Z's paying for protection and.
Do I have to go back to him?
All right. No, you're fine. Everything's fine. We're not talking about you. Or Coffin. I really don't need to get a flag.
So
I don't need to be taller than I am.
After Super Troopers, this was the follow up.
Right.
And I love Beer Fest. I remember watching it.
Yeah. It's the other funniest movie that group did.
I don't mind Super Troopers 2. And I don't mind.
Yeah, but it's not funnier than
Actually,
Beer Fest.
no, this wasn't the follow up. The Club Dread was the follow up.
Club Dread was the follow up.
Which wasn't as good.
No. It's funny. They wanted to make a funny slasher, so they did.
I mean, I have a Das Boot because of this movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's.
Das Boot. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's funny. And it's Beer Fest.
Where would
it's
you go?
absolutely going to go over Wedding Crashers. Okay. It's on a drink. First off, it's also on a drinking movies list, right? So
we got great news. I've been cleared. from my injury.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to go again.
All right.
Back to
Sounds
pole
good.
dance fighting.
Oh yeah.
No. Now is that you have to go all the way back down to Brazil for that?
Yes. My plane leaves in a couple days, but I'm very happy I've been able.
But you're going to be
awesome.
coming back this summer, though, right?
Yes, I will be back this summer.
I
Yes.
can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right.
wait.
So I mean, are you going? It's again drinking movie.
Well, Beer Fest won because we both voted Beer Fest.
Right.
I would have said Beer Fest too, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, good. So then we've got Cocktail over Role Models. Now I haven't seen Cocktail in a very long time. It's been a while. I'm not gonna tell you how long because you always make fun of my age, even though I'm only 2 years old. Anyway.
Role Models for me.
I would also say Role Models here. Yeah.
Cocktail is not a top Tom Cruise movie for me.
No, it's definitely not.
But, I mean the cup stuff is dope.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna put it over Role Models because Tom Cruise can do some cool shit with cups.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. All right. So Animal House versus Shaun of the Dead. I don't want to be here.
I will lead off with this.
Okay.
And it might not be the most popular
Animal
opinion.
House is so classic. Right?
Animal House is the godfather of drinking movies.
Right.
And both these movies are very rewatchable, and I love both of these movies very, very much. If I had to pick a better movie, I would pick Shaun of the Dead. But a better drinking movie has to go to Animal House. Just everything about that movie is about this group of degenerate, outcasts that have come together and created what is arguably the greatest fraternity ever.
Right.
like Bluto, baby. Like it's Animal House for me.
You mean, is it a better fraternity than Lambda Lambda Lambda? Ooh. That's a discussion for another day. That's a discussion for another day. I'm just messing around.
We actually probably could have put Revenge of the Nerds on here.
Maybe.
They got to vote still. But I appreciate your enthusiasm, Stomper.
I'm going to be that guy. I think Shaun of the Dead for this.
God, I love it when Garrett gets put in these situations.
He loves it.
He hates it. It gives him anxiety at night.
It really does. It really does.
Like, man,
as far as drinking movies go, it has to be Animal House.
That's fair.
I agree with Joe where I like Shaun of the Dead better, but this is a drinking movie list. We have to put things forth that, things are what they are.
Part 1 over part 2 for me.
Ooh.
Part 1 over part 2.
Well, I guess it's part 1 over part 2 then.
Because we know you just said it's 2, but one, I feel one is but it edges out 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So now we're gonna do old school versus Euro Trip. God damn it. I'm still going Euro Trip because I'm going old school. It's more my favorite comedy.
I would say Euro Trip personally.
Yeah.
All right, Euro Trip.
Yeah, Euro Trip over old school. All right. Oof. Okay, Beer Fest versus Role Models.
Beer Fest is the better drinking movie.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess if we're going off of drinking movies, yeah, I would have still said Role Models personally, but yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But it's drinking movies. It's literally all about drinking.
And look what the final 4 are: Animal House, Euro Trip. Whoa, stop her.
My fault.
I might have to go to
Coffin?
To talk to Coffin sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
that was my fault.
All right, it's fine. We all make mistakes. It's fine.
Trying to erase it and just
Animal House, Euro Trip, Hangover, and Beer Fest. So the harder of the two, Animal House versus Hangover. I'm gonna go Granddaddy and go Animal House. Because I know Casey's probably going to pick the Hangover.
I would pick Hangover.
And then we leave Garrett having to...
This is so fun.
Why? Why is it...
This is making me laugh because it makes me smile when he has anxiety with this.
I hate it.
I can see the sweat glistening off his forehead.
I hate it. Okay. Animal House versus Hangover on a drinking movie list. On a drinking movie list... Hangover.
Wow.
I have to. Think about how much it's like you still have more of the academic stuff. You still have more of the stuff that they have to do as a fraternity, also not drunk, but everything
I
in
love
the
how
Hangover
he tries defending himself to me.
is about how wasted they were and how bad, Stu marries a stripper. Okay, you know what I mean? And loses a tooth.
So
there's a tiger
Euro
in the
Trip,
bathroom.
I feel like that'll be
Euro Trip versus Beer Fest. While I feel...
Oh, this hurts. This hurts right here.
I feel that Euro Trip's the better movie. Beer Fest is the better drinking movie.
On a drinking movie list, I'm just going to go out and say it. It has to be Beer Fest.
You know what though? But are we just picking Beer Fest because beer's in the title though?
No,
that's the
whole
thing.
movie's about drinking.
No,
literally the one dude. The last third of the movie is a drinking competition.
Yeah, it's the whole the one guy drowns in a vat of beer. You know what I mean? So. But before he drowns, he literally cyclones it down. He's drinking so much of it where you think he's gonna make it out.
Yeah.
So Hangover versus Beer Fest is our...
Oof. Yeah. Again, just to say, the Euro Trip is better. I'd watch it a million times over. But the drinking.
Right.
The pure drinking.
So for this... Hangover.
Wow.
I think it's got to be Hangover.
And you know what? I would agree with you on that.
So, I was going to go Beer Fest.
Wow.
I'm solid on the fact that I was going to go Beer Fest.
I just realized since we had that little memorial to William Hurt and Scott Hall at the beginning, we forgot a very, very important part of the show. Garrett?
What? Oh, man. We did. There was a lot going on. So listen. Okay, one, to recap, Hangover wins.
Hangover wins.
The drinking movies.
Yes.
For our St. Patrick's Day episode.
/316 day.
/316 day.
What?
Okay. What? Seasonal sports. If you need apparel, if you need anything like that, posters, whatever you need made, embroidering, vinyl graphics,
Screen
go check
printing.
them out. Screen printing. Go there.
Hit them up.
Online stores. We have our own online store. Okay. Mainly it's the Wrestle Fandom Radio stuff. Go check them out. Check out our online store.
I got some designs I need to send to you that I possibly want to add to the store.
Let's do it.
And for both shows.
And if you need ink and if you need piercings, you need to go to Rockin' Horse Tattoo in New Hartford. They are right next to Big Apple. All right. Hit them up. Tell them we sent you.
All right.
It helps us out, helps you out, helps them out.
Is there any
Helps out
local
everybody.
shows?
All right. What?
Is there any local shows coming around?
There is local shows. Now, before you do make any other plans for the weekend, okay? You need to be going to the ICW show.
Oh.
Okay.
Where's it
This is
taking
another
place?
ICW show. Is in Schenectady at the Boys and Girls Club. Am I right here, Stomper?
Yep, you are.
All right. Listen,
I got a question. Is
Swaggle's going to be there, okay?
Is Coffin going to be there?
He's
Well,
gonna
of
be
course
there.
Coffin's going to be
The
there.
whole entire squad of
So
attacks.
you better be there to back me up,
See what I
just in
can do.
case.
Who?
Okay?
You need him?
Yeah, no, we all know where you're going to be. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. No, I'm talking about Joe.
Joe can't do
Okay,
anything.
like listen, Swaggle's gonna be there. Okay,
gonna call his little buddy
we got Karen Bam Bam versus Kayla Sparks, right?
Yes.
Mike Skyros versus.
Skyros is going up against Cheech. Okay, Cheech. Okay, in his first title defense, we're gonna crown the first ever ICW tag champs. Dude, it's going to be off I think is it. Hold on now. Not only are we crowning that, but then because the women's title is vacant, right? Then it's Karen and Kayla are going to be going for the women's title.
Yeah.
Am I right? All right, cool. Yeah, because that was just announced the other day. If I'm right. Yeah. Okay. And then who else do we got? I think the Hired Gun Inc. is going up against.
Ben Haim.
Ben Hameen and oh my God,
The
and Blaze
conspiracy
Haram.
theory.
It's going to be that match. That match is going to be. It's going to get. I'm calling it. It's going to get ugly. Okay. More matches will absolutely happen that night. I'm going to go live from there. I'll be saying the whole card. I'm going to be shooting videos, taking pictures. I'll be there. Yeah. The taxi guys will be there. Stomper, you're going to be there with your fellows from tax. So come and meet us out there. It's going to be great.
And next week we'll have a complete recap of that.
Complete recap. We're going to be talking about all things wrestling.
We're going
to go a little Scott Hall heavy on that show.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go.
We'll do a Scott Hall
Chico,
top
Scott
five.
Top five. Absolutely.
You better support the attacks here, Chico.
I'll go have this beer with.
Yeah. So if you want to go, you're gonna go talk to him. I'm gonna finish up here. You go in the other room and you can go talk to him. All right. Join us next week. All right, Casey. Thanks for coming in, man. I mean, good luck in finishing your training. I can't wait to see your skills, and we will see everybody back here for Wrestle Fandom Radio next week.
Day, I decided I'm going to squash this beef with Joe and the Wrestle Fandom Radio guys because that's the type of guy I am. I'm going to squash this. So, Joe, I'd like to have a beer with you. It's 316 Day. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah! Yeah! Whose is this? Our station now. And that's the bottom line, because Joe Stones said so.